Hello everyone, I am Flordelisa Di sa cabin. Today, I will be sharing with you my philosophical reflection about challenges faced by the alternative learning system as part of the subject of Philosophy, Trends and Issues in Philippine Education under Professor Seryu Chan. These philosophical reflections examines the multi-phase challenges faced by the alternative learning system in providing flexible, inclusive, and learner-centered education tailored to diverse needs, institutionalized by the Republic Act No. 11510 in the Philippines. Three central dimensions: personalized learning, experiential learning, and inclusivity. This is my claim. Alternative learning system addressing pressing concerns about the limitations of traditional education by offering flexible, learner-centered approaches designed to meet diverse learners' needs. Philosophical dimensions emerge as central to understanding ALS challenges. These are personalized learning, experiential learning, and inclusivity. Personalized learning is recognized as learner-centered approach that adapts instruction to individual learners' abilities, interests, backgrounds, and goals, allowing learners to progress at their own pace. However, challenges remain such as lack of unified definitions and the need to effectively integrate emotional, social, and cognitive learning characteristics into adaptive systems. Experiential learning is a foundational element of ALS, engages learners in context-rich, concrete experiences situated in specific temporal and spatial realities. Learners actively confront real-time problems and engage in critical reflections that transforms experience into meaningful knowledge. Inclusivity within ALS is a complex ongoing process that extends beyond physical integration to encompass meaningful participation, social justice, and dismantling of inclusionary practices. However, practical challenges arise in translating these ideas into effective practice due to varying contexts and institutional constraints. ALS fostering adaptive, cultural responsive, and flexible learning environments that acknowledge diverse learners' identities and systematic barriers is essential for promoting equitable access and genuine social participation. For the objections, personalized learning aims to tailor education dynamically to individual learning needs, interests, and abilities to foster autonomy and meaningful engagement. However, critics caution that it risks fragmenting education, undermining shared knowledge, neglecting universal human commonalities, potentially leading to relativism and consistent educational standards. Experiential learning seeks to engage learners actively in context-rich, embodied experiences that integrate cognition, emotion, and reflection, nurturing practical wisdom and adaptable knowledge. Yet it faces objections that can overemphasize on experience, may devalue abstract reasoning, intellectual rigor necessary for critical thinking and moral development. Progressivity strives to create equitable, cultural responsive learning environments that affirm learning dignity and foster community belonging across diverse backgrounds and abilities. However, practical challenges of resource limitations and institutional contradictions may dilute standards or unintentionally reinforce social diversity. For the answer, the first objection states that personalized learning risks fragmenting education into individualized paths that may undermine shared knowledge, social cohesion, and universal human commonalities. I do answer, one can point out that these concerns can be addressed by embedding personalized learning within coherent curricular frameworks that balance individual needs with collective educational goals. So, therefore, personalization in ALS, when thoughtfully implemented, strengthens rather than weakens educational coherence and ethical commitments. The second objection is that there is a risk that emphasizing experiential learning may undervalue the abstract reflection and intellectual rigor necessary for critical thinking and moral development. To reply, one can say that ALS effectively counters this risk by integrating structured reflective practices within experiential learning cycles. Third objection is that practical challenges such as limited resources, conflicting policies, and institutionalized contradiction may dilute educational standard or unintentionally reinforce social divisions. And then respond that ALS addresses these challenges by fostering adaptive, cultural responsive learning communities that affirm learner dignity, insights. The philosophical expression of alternative learning system reveals a profound commitment to recognizing learners as embodied, relational whole person whose dignity and identity emerge from the inseparable unity of mind, body, and social participation. Personalized learning emerges as a dynamic and evolving framework that prioritizes tailoring education to individual learning characteristics, including cognitive abilities, emotional states, cultural backgrounds, and personal goals. Through technology-enabled adaptive system and differentiated instruction, personalized learning seeks to maximize learner engagement, motivation, and effectiveness. However, the philosophical cushion regarding potential fragmentation underscores the necessity of balancing individualization with coherence and community, ensuring education fosters both personal growth and social belonging. Experiential learning, grounded in the critical revision of goals model by Morris 2020, complements this by emphasizing the cyclical interplay of concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active implementation. ALS commitment to meaningful real-world learning experience. So, inclusion, thus inclusivity explored through system theory and social constructionism by provides a critical lens to understanding ALS ethical imperative to create equitable, participatory learning environments. Inclusion is not merely physical presence, but ongoing, communicative processes that can simultaneously include and exclude shaped by institutional norms and societal forces. Philosophical emphasis on relational embodiment and dignity, underscoring the need for adaptive, community-driven solutions that bridge system barriers. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.